Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave. So today's another episode of Favorite Toys. And this one, well, I should say this one, obviously I didn't have it when I was a kid because it didn't exist when I was a kid. This actually came out pretty recent, probably in the last 10 years or so, I think, from when I recorded this anyways. This is 2018. And he came out in a different series of Transformers. I'm just going to set him down there and make sure he doesn't fall, which I think he's going to. There we go. He was actually introduced in the original Transformer movie. This was like 86, I believe this movie came out. Right around the time when Transformers was really popular cartoon. Everybody was buying the action figures. I mean, I was totally into Transformers during the day. And when this movie came out, it just blew me away. And the main, well, one of the main characters of the movie is UNICRON. Now, funny enough, even though he was big in the movie, and I mean that literally big, but there was no toy. No toy came out. There was a lot of other toys. I mean, this movie introduced a whole new line of Transformers. It took the original Megatron. In the movie, he gets practically killed by Optimus Prime and becomes Galvatron. And it's UNICRON who actually creates Galvatron. And it also, there's other characters that get eliminated in the movie. One notably of Starscream gets completely melted by the new Galvatron. So after that movie came out, a whole new line of toys came out. But the one that was absent, and noticeably absent, was UNICRON. And I'm assuming, at the time, I probably just thought, well, he's too big. They couldn't make a toy that big. It wouldn't make sense. It would be really hard. If they did, it would probably be really expensive. Like, I would be picturing this massive planet. Now, UNICRON is a planet. That's essentially what he is. He's a planet that can eat other planets. He's large enough to eat other planets. He eats moons. He eats everything in his path. So probably the biggest Transformer ever, and I know I've read a little bit of stories on the internet about the origins of UNICRON. He had this release is actually from the Armada series, I believe. I didn't get into that one. That's a much later Transformers. I don't really get into the new stuff. I don't get into the new Transformers. I pretty much still live in the past, so I still like the old cartoons. And this character obviously didn't make it past the movie. Well, sort of. His head exists after the movie, but the character himself was killed in the movie, essentially. But the toy was always absent. And I think most of us who grew up in that time, who liked Transformers, wanted a UNICRON toy. So, taking a look at this one, I mean, there's a lot of similarities to the actual movie UNICRON. And, like, this part here, these parts here, you actually see that in the movie. His head really resembles the UNICRON head, which is funny because if you watch the movie, in the original Transformers cartoon movie, his head changes like 3 times, I think, throughout the movie. There's some scenes where he doesn't have this kind of mustachy beard thing going on. The shape of his head, the horn. There's like a bunch of things. It's almost like the animators changed up the drawings halfway through the movie or something like that, and just couldn't make up their mind. But there was a lot of flaws in that movie. That was one of them. Was UNICRON always changing shape? But there are a lot of things that are kind of true to the way UNICRON did look. Even his feet, his massive feet, were kind of like that. They were kind of like those claw feet. This part I don't think is actually part of him. I think that part they had to make the toy more of a planet shape. Now I don't think I've ever actually transformed this. Maybe when I first got it, I might have tried. But yeah, I got him into robot mode. I can't remember now how I bought him. I think he was already in robot mode. Yeah, I'm not going to try because I'm not very good at transforming these newer Transformers. They're quite complicated. There's a lot to do. I'll just throw up a picture right here, and this is how he looks when he's transformed into a planet. Not the greatest look. I mean, he's kind of got like a square back, But I mean, otherwise, it's more of the robot mode. And if you've seen a lot of my videos, you've probably seen some of my background shots, and you've seen Unicron always stands behind me. Even some of the pictures I have on social media, on my Facebook, on Twitter and all that, you could see my man cave picture, and he's always in the background. He's definitely up there as one of the favorite toys that I wish I had when I was a kid, because I would have loved this guy. I would have totally played with this guy. He's huge, and he's heavy. I mean, let's just compare him to, say, old Megatron here. Now, obviously, scale was a problem with these toys, right? Because this guy in the cartoon, because he's the size of a planet, he was massive. I mean, massive beyond massive. And there was some scaling problems even in the movie, where, like Galvatron, for instance, this guy was like literally standing on top of Unicron and facing him, and essentially, in reality, he would have been a speck. He would have been like a pea. Not even a pea. He would have been a half a slice of rice pellet because of the size difference. But we all knew that going into Transformers, that there was always those issues with size. But, I mean, overall, I mean, just trying to capture all these little pieces of him that really... Oh, that I shouldn't show that. That's his privates. All these different areas, like his fists, even has fingers. I mean, that's just amazing that they went through all that. And that's one thing I can say about the modern toys versus some of the older toys, too. The fists are literally, like, part of them. Whereas in the older toys, the fists were usually... they were like with Starscream here. You had to add them back on when you transformed them. Some of them didn't, like Megatron here. His went in there into his arm like that. But very rarely, most of the old toys, the old Transformer toys, the fists came off. And so when you see these old toys, oftentimes people are missing the fists. Just like my Metroplex toy. He's missing his fists. I think I might have one somewhere in a bag somewhere. But yeah, I just wanted to show off Unicron because I've had him in the back there. Yeah, I wish I could transform him, but I'd probably spend an hour and a half sitting here trying to transform him. And I'd be afraid I'd kind of break some parts off or something. I really don't know what I'm doing. Anyways, yeah, this was just a fun look at Unicron. I just wanted to talk about him. Just wanted to talk a little bit about the character because I always found him fascinating. He was awesome. Even in the cartoons that followed, there was a few episodes where his head came back to life, essentially, and he took Starscream. He was trying to get the ghost of Starscream to help him attach his head to Cybertron. Unfortunately, it never happened. I mean, it got close, but it never happened. But that would have been so cool to see Unicron take over Cybertron and create this, body out of it. Now, that aside, there was mention of Unicron in the very last Transformers movie, live-action movie, the Michael Bay, the Bayformers, whatever you want to call it. There is mention of Unicron in that at the very end. And it looks like Earth might be Unicron, so that's a little bit confusing. But you see at the very end, I believe you see something like this. You see his, whatever these are. You see something like that in a desert setting. So it kind of like showing you that they might be bringing Unicron into the Michael Bay Transformer universe, which is kind of crazy, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see until the movie comes out, until the previews come out or whatever. But I remember a lot of people being excited about seeing clips like that and wondering if that was Unicron, if Unicron's going to be in the movie. That'd be awesome. Anyways, and I guess if it is, I mean, if he is in the movie, there's going to be another toy, which will be cool. Anyways, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of Unicron or any of the other toys I just showed. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of Transformers. My collection kind of grew a little bit, and then I stopped buying because I literally ran out of room to put them places. I still got a lot of them in bags and stuff, which I'm going to start pulling out and doing some more reviews on, or looking at the different toys that I have. Well, hope you subscribe to my channel. Hope you leave some comments. Talk to you later.